There's something about old military surplus firearms that gets many of us excited. We think of the history, the stories, and the battles that particular rifle may have been in. They are almost never in immaculate condition. Every scratch and mark on the firearm also has a story. Stories we will never know, but we can still ponder about. Take as an example this number 1 Mark III SMLE. It was made in 1915 and it has travelled through many hands. I can only imagine where it had been and where it may have been used. Many military surplus rifles were modified into sporting rifles for hunting, but why did this one make it through unscathed? We will probably never know. From Enfields, Springfields, Garands, and many more, there is a massive amount of military surplus rifles that were sold to the public after both world wars. They would be used for hunting, target shooting, or they were just a collector's piece. No more will be made, so we must cherish the history we have now. Some of these rifles were admittedly crap, while others are of legend. One of these legendary rifles is the 9130 Mosin Nagant. For my generation, the Mosin Nagant was made famous predominantly by video games and Hollywood, particularly the film Enemy at the Gates. Though that film did take some historical liberties, it did give my generation maybe its first taste of the Mosin. The first version of the Mosin Nagant, the model 1891 infantry rifle, was the main weapon of the Russian and Soviet Red Armies from 1891 to 1930. The 9130 was produced for standard issue for all Soviet infantry from 1930 to 1945. It obviously is a bolt action, and it can hold 5 rounds of 7.62 by 54R. Other countries had their own variants, which were chambered in various other cartridges as well. The rifle was designed by the Russian inventor Captain Sergei Mosin. The bolt uses 2 front locking lugs. The bolt body is multi-piece, has an interchangeable bolt head, and the bolt uses a push-feed recessed bolt head. Compared to the Lee Enfield, which has a 60-degree lift arc on the bolt, the Mosin has a 90-degree lift arc. By the end of World War II, about 19.8 million Mosin Nagants had been produced. Genuine production of various types of Mosins around the world ceased in 1973. However, there were actually a few variants that continued production until the year 2000. One of these variants was the OTS-48, which was a sniper rifle that was designed to use up a lot of the surplus 9130s that was still in storage in Russia at the time. Even during the current Ukraine war, Mosin rifles are being used on both sides. A couple of decades ago, Mosins were known within the firearms community as a low-tier military surplus rifle because of how cheap you are able to get one and the genuine quality of some of the rifles. However, they are regarded as a great stepping stone for getting into military surplus firearms. Compared to other military surplus firearms, Mosins are affordable, but the ammo is admittedly not that cheap. The nearest rifle you could compare the Mosin to price-wise is the Carcano, but ammo for the Carcano is near impossible to find. Mosins are also a favourite for the legends that are the bubbers. If you do not know what the term bubber is, here is what Wikipedia has to say. In gun culture, bubber is a term used for a person who permanently alters or modifies historic firearms with no regard for its historical value. In other words, a bubber is a sinner. In all honesty though, if you want to ruin your rifle, I do not care, but personally I would not because I love history too much. The only other rifle I can compare the Mosin to is my number 1 Mark III SMLE Lee Enfield. Compared to the SMLE, the Mosin does feel tacky, but I will say that this particular Mosin has more wear and pitting on it. The bolt is more awkward to rack and chamber, and the Mosin has a smaller magazine capacity than that of the Lee Enfield. However, both of these rifles rightfully deserve their place in the firearms history books. This particular Mosin is a unique one in its own right due to all its wear, and to me, that is priceless. Thank you all for watching. I am Ben and this is Ben Doing Things. Now, a quick update on my shoulder. I actually got cleared to fire centerfire rifles the other day. Admittedly, the Mosin took me out after a couple of shots, but I can shoot smaller calibers like 7.62x39 more repetitively. So hopefully I'll get out and about soon, and we'll be able to get some wallabies or something later on. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you.